A meeting between US and Ukrainian officials in Florida has been dubbed a very successful meeting, despite more work needed to be done, much more work to end the Russia-Ukraine conflict. But it's a step. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the peace plan involves lots of moving parts and Russia must be involved in the talks, which are set to continue next week.
Our goal here is to end the war, but it's more than just to end the war. We don't just want to end the war, we also want to help Ukraine be safe forever, so never again will they face another invasion. And equally importantly, we want them to enter an age of true prosperity. We want the Ukrainian people to emerge from this war, not just to rebuild their country, but to build it back in a way that will be stronger and more prosperous than it's ever been.
Vladimir Zelensky hopes the meeting will finalise the details of the 19-point peace plan. His representative confirmed discussions were productive.
Ukraine, we discussed all the important matters that are important for Ukraine, for Ukrainian people, and US was super supportive. We already had a successful meeting in Geneva, and today we continued this success.
Well, joining us live now, US analyst Michael Ware for more on this. Do you expect anything concrete to emerge from these talks, Michael?
Look, I think there'll be a lot of warm and fuzzies. We're seeing that already. At best, hopefully the Trump administration and the Ukrainians have been able to drill down to the very key points that they both can agree on. At least if America and Ukraine are much closer to being on the same page, that's a step forward. But like I said, it could be much ado about nothing. No matter how much we get on the same page with the Ukrainians, we're still going into the brick wall, run into the brick wall that is Vladimir Putin. Now, President Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, is heading off to Moscow later this week. This has all been a part of preparing for that and getting perhaps some kind of document sort of nailed down to present to Vladimir Putin to presumably refuse, decline and knock back. The two key issues here are Ukraine's security. Would they be like members of NATO? Could NATO members be in Ukraine? Could Ukraine have the offensive weapons needed to protect itself? They need to guarantee their own security. The other thing is sovereignty. And Ukraine has said that we're not going to give up an inch of territory to Putin invasion. But you're starting to get the feel that the Trump administration is nudging Kiev closer to the position that, look, fellas, you may have to give up some land here. Now, it's land either Russia's already won or Russia hasn't won, but it still wants. But it may come down to a decision for Ukraine whether it starts cutting off fingers and toes or hands and limbs when it comes to its sovereign soil. Either way, the best we can hope for today is that America and Ukraine are on the same page as the special envoy from America heads to Moscow.
OK, Michael, let's get to the shooting now of the two National Guards last week that involved an Afghan migrant. The Trump administration has since halted the process of Afghan nationals. Where is all of that at this hour?
Yeah, look, this is an horrific incident that seems to be unleashing an equally horrific backlash. Look, what we know is that a 29-year-old Afghan immigrant, up close and personal, shot or executed a National Guard 20-year-old woman and shot her staff sergeant, who's still in a very critical condition. That Afghan has since been arrested. What we know about this guy is that he put in for America. He was part of a CIA shadow paramilitary force. They were called Zero Units or counter-terrorism pursuit teams. This guy really went all the way for America. Now, what's happening today is that the Trump administration is shifting any sense of blame for this guy's entry to the Biden administration. They're blaming the CIA and everyone else for failing to vet these people properly. Now, we know that's not true. These people were vetted and re-vetted. This guy has all the hallmarks of severe PTSD. But today, Department of Homeland Security is saying he has since been radicalised here in America. We don't know where the truth lays in this, but what we're seeing is the administration using this as a chance to lash out, pausing all Afghan visas, legitimate as they may be, going back and looking at every Afghan asylum seeker who's ever arrived here and been approved, re-vetting them. Even threatening to pause travel from a raft, about 19 developing countries, because suddenly they may be suspicious. This is an horrific incident where a 20-year-old girl was killed serving her country, a 24-year-old man was wounded serving his country, and an Afghan who fought for America, going off and committing what's been called an act of terrorism. There's just no upside to this story, mate.
Okay.